Spoke with Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Greta, it's always good to be with you.
Well, big news today. A lot of Democrats are suddenly having a sort of a different sentiment towards Obamacare. At least a lot of them are calling for an extension of the enrollment period. Two Democrats have called for the individual mandate to be extended 1 year or delayed 1 year. I imagine you're watching this with some sort of sense of what?
Well, look, it's clear this thing isn't working, and it's becoming harder and harder for Democrats to defend. I mean, during the last 2 months, as we've been debating Obamacare, very few Democrats have tried to defend it on the substance, and I think the American people are seeing it's not working. You've got the disasters with the website. But more broadly, you've got the impacts that are happening with jobs. It's the biggest job killer in the country. It's forcing people into part-time work.
But we haven't even gotten to that. I mean, I don't know if, whether you're right or you're wrong, we haven't even gotten to that point. We're really sort of at the implementation period, and it seems to be, I mean, sort of the core part of it is, you know, if the website is a dud, that sort of puts the brakes on.
Well, you know, one of the reasons the website's a dud is the directions the administration gave the programmers was that they wanted to set it up where people couldn't see the prices until they'd entered all of their personal information, because they wanted to put the subsidies in to avoid sticker shock. So you and I are used to, if we want to go search for a plane, we go on Orbitz or what have you, we enter it in, we see what the price is immediately. These things are designed so that you can't get the information until you put your personal and private information in it. That's one of the many problems that these websites have.
What do you think the president's thinking tonight about it?
You know, he has so far shown no willingness to compromise whatsoever. I mean, the pattern we've seen, he grants exemptions to his friends, to his cronies. He grants exemptions to big business. He grants exemptions to members of Congress. I am convinced that it is likely before the end of his term he plans to grant an exemption to the unions. He hadn't done that yet, but I think that is their intention.
What do you predict is going to happen in light of sort of, there's now seems to be a rather a big shift in how many Democrats are even looking at it. Many of them, of course, are up for re-election.
I think we're seeing momentum, and I think it's ironic. All the people that just a few weeks ago were saying there's no way you can win this fight, there's no way we can do anything to stop Obamacare, and they also said there's no way any Ds are going to flip. We're starting to see Democrats flip as this thing, it's a train wreck. It's not working. And in any political fight, when the truth is on your side, you're in a good situation. And here the truth is this thing isn't working. Well,
I know that here in the Senate, you've had some of the Republicans, even your own Republican colleagues, aren't real wild about the strategy employed. But you were down in Texas. You got a pretty warm reception down there.
You know, I'll tell you, it was breathtaking. I mean, it was really good to be home. We had rallies throughout the state. We had rallies in San Antonio, in Houston, and up in Dallas, and it was incredible.
Do you ever feel like a sort of a loner on this?
Not remotely, because I am doing my best to stand with the 26 million Texans who sent me here. And to be honest, I mean, if given the choice between having the appreciation of Washington and being reviled in Texas, or having the appreciation of Texas and being reviled in Washington, I'll pick the latter 100 out of 100 times.
Do you think you're reviled here?
In some quarters. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't work for the party bosses in this town. The people I work for are 26 million Texans, and the reaction at home, I can't tell you how many people just said thank you for listening to us and not everyone in Washington. And I think the key to our fiscal and economic challenges, the key to bringing back jobs and economic growth, is we've got to get more elected officials in Washington listening to the people and not listening to the party powers and the bosses here in Washington.
Senator, nice to see you. Always nice to see you. Welcome back to Washington, by the way.
It's great to be back, and fortunately, I'm flying back to Texas tomorrow morning.
Nice to see you, sir.
Take care.